Here's the last video you need to watch on moving to Spokane, because today we're going to do a full map guide tour of the Spokane area. You guys have really liked when I did a neighborhood breakdown of the Spokane area, and so today we're really going to try and hit all the points of Spokane County and what kind of houses are like in each area, who kind of lives in each area, and what you might be looking for in every specific area. Hopefully answer your questions on which neighborhood might be right for you or which kind of small town around Spokane might be for you. So today we're going to jump straight into my computer. As you can see here, we've surrounded Spokane County, and so we're kind of taking a look at what is going on in Spokane County. Let me pick a color here. So we have, let's talk about our interstates first. So we have I-90 that intersects Spokane east and west, heads from Seattle all the way to Chicago, and I think beyond even just a little bit. We have a few different ways to get north and south in Spokane County. So we have Highway 195 that comes up from Pullman and intersects with I-90 right there. And if you were looking to continue north at that point, then you would likely either jump onto I-90 and take Division, which is also considered Highway 2, Highway 2 North, I should say. But Division is not a freeway. It's just kind of like a busy four to 6 lane road, mostly 6 lane road in Spokane. And then that becomes Highway 395 that heads through Deer Park and makes its way all the way up to Canada. If you are looking to head north to Colbert or to get to North Idaho, then you would take Highway 2. There's a Y here in the road. And this would take you up to Elk and into North Idaho right here. So that one, it becomes, again, it's not really like a major freeway. There's lots of roundabouts. It starts to speed up a little bit north here, but it's still fairly kind of densely, it's in the city, like down here in Meade. I should say eventually that Highway 395 will connect to I-90 right here, but it is not yet connected. It is stopped right there, and so they still have to make the connection point, but it'll make it easier for people traveling that maybe want to live more rural up in Deer Park or something to be able to come down and connect to I-90 and make it over to Idaho or head west, maybe even to the airport. Hopefully it'll speed up the drive time from the north down to the airport. So let's get rid of that guy. So now next up in terms of like freeways, then a couple more just ways to get around. So we have Trent, which is also 290, and that heads into North Idaho and is another way to get up to Sandpoint and Priest Lake, Pend Oreille, things like that in our area. We have Highway 27, which takes you down to Rockford, and it's another way to just kind of get to south into Pullman and in Moscow, things like that. That's another alternate route out there. And then if you want to live in the West Plains, you would be taking Highway 2 through Airway Heights. This is how you would get to Fairchild Air Force Base. And then this would take you into the next county over, which would get you into Reardon and Davenport, which I've had some clients choose to live out there as well. And then lastly, just to really touch base on our highway system, and you would have Highway 291 if you were somebody that wants to live in 9 Mile Falls. Really, it becomes you come off of Francis, which is kind of a main east-west road here. It turns into 9 Mile Falls. Again, not much of a freeway. I don't know if it gets much over 45 to 50 miles an hour at any point, and it gets pretty windy heading up to Suncrest. But again, that one's more of a 2-lane road. It is a 2-lane road along the river there, and it gets pretty curvy down close to the water. And then your very last highway system, it would be our road up to Mount Spokane, 206. Again, really not much of a freeway, more just a country road that gets you into the mountain as well. So that's kind of a full breakdown of our transportation system. And so if you're to say, I would like to, let's start with the West Plains. We haven't talked about the West Plains a lot. So the West Plains are basically this kind of whole area and out into Reardon and Davenport. We would call it basically Airway Heights, Medical Lake, Cheney. Those all kind of make up the West Plains here in the Spokane, Washington area. And so out here in this area, you're likely to, if you're going to live out here, a lot of people will live out there either because they want a little bit more rural, quiet living in a smaller town, or they work out here. And so the Fairchild Air Force Base, being the #1 employer in Spokane, employing over 7,000 people, a lot of people will just choose, military people will choose to live out here in this area. Let's try and zoom in just a little bit and take a look at the map here, the layered map. So as you can see, on the north side of Airway Heights, it's a little bit more blocked out. There's newer neighborhoods here. A lot were built up in the early 2000s, and then there's a couple more new neighborhoods coming into that area. And then especially kind of further to the east here, where Haydn Homes has a community. I'm trying to, where is it at? Self-storage of Spokane. I believe it's right here. Pillar Rock is right in that area. And so that's a Haydn Home community. But down south of Highway 2 here is a little bit more like manufactured homes and things like that. And so it just depends on kind of what your price point is and what kind of neighborhood you're looking for. But you have easy access to the Spokane International Airport right there. And then if you are somebody that doesn't want to necessarily live in Airway Heights, but maybe you are at the base or something like that, Medical Lake can be a really good option because you can really easily get up to Airway Heights by kind of taking some of these back roads here to get up to Airway Heights and come into the base from the back roads. And so Medical Lake has kind of a couple different sections. You have kind of the main town here where you can get kind of some older residential in this kind of front part here. And then there's kind of a mix of newer builds kind of behind the school back in this way. There's a little bit more new, kind of newer homes near the school, but obviously, or there kind of were newer homes because obviously this area was massively affected by the fire. It stopped right here. There's a house right here where all of these houses were burned and the houses all through here were burned. And so this house somehow made it. I was just driving out there the other day. And then this kind of Jim Darby Road is a small little community. Kind of interesting to see which houses made it, which didn't. There might be this random house that got burned down, but the two on the sides of it didn't for whatever reason. And so it just got really impacted. But lots of new builds going on. And then this is a really cool area, again, really impacted by the fires, but they're cool spots where people can purchase a home, a pretty affordable home, and have their own private little lake here. So I sold this house right here at one point, and it was really cool because it had kind of this like private pond that it shared with just a couple properties on it. And so it's just kind of a unique area to live in and just kind of have access to kind of affordable waterfront property here in the Spokane area. So a little bit more rural. If you are going to Eastern Washington University, then you are likely going to live in Cheney. So Cheney is a small town west of Spokane. Again, I mean, it's a small town feel. You can drive kind of the whole loop. You can follow kind of this road here that I drew right here, come through the university and back around. You could do this in like, I don't know, 7 minutes maybe. You can just drive the whole town. So there's good affordable housing out there. I had more clients moving out that way during the pandemic when the prices of homes were increasing rapidly. There's a little less competition out in Cheney, so they could find houses that they felt comfortable getting. If you're looking for a great breakfast spot, Benny's is amazing. They specialize in Eggs Benedict and have a ton of interesting options out there. But you just get a little bit more of a small town feel with Cheney, less hustle and bustle. And so if that's important to you, that's a great spot for that as well. Heading to, let's go to 9 Mile Falls. So we'll go north of there. So again, if you want an option where it's a little bit more just secluded from town, a little bit more rural, then 9 Mile Falls can be a really good option for you. So there are some options to have waterfront property in this area. It's few and far between, and especially once you get up here towards the marina and you're up on the cliff. We'll show you some B-roll. We had a listing up in that area at one point where the views of the water are absolutely amazing in this area. But the cool thing about this Suncrest community is that these homes in here, I mean, I was looking the other day, the average price was like $450, $550 for a lot of these homes. As you get closer to the water, it's more expensive, but you can find homes in and around here on over half an acre. So a lot of times on an acre, they have really big lots in this area. And then the cool thing is that this Suncrest community actually gets private beach access to the Suncrest private dock. And so that's a really cool feature. Is just that this small community has a private beach down in here, and then you're right across from Riverside State Park. It's just a really cool natural area, and I think it's just a really tight community. You have small school district up here. There's kind of like one pub where everyone gets together in that area, and so I think if you're looking to be kind of out of town a little bit, but you still want a kind of a tight knit community, want a little bit of space, but you still have neighbors, then Suncrest can be a great option. And again, if you like water, then that's the spot to do it as well in Spokane. So coming into the city a little bit, so we have kind of three quadrants in the city of Spokane specifically. And when I mean the city, I really mean the city of Spokane, like right here, because we would have the Spokane Valley and Liberty Lake heading that way. So in the city of Spokane, we split up into three quadrants. We have the South Hill here. Then we have the North West quadrant, which goes to about right here. And then we have the Northeast quadrant that goes to about right here. And so these actually fall into Spokane County, heading up this north area. But the Northwest area tends to be depending on, well, I mean, it basically graduates from most expensive area down to least expensive area the closer you get to downtown until you like get into downtown. So you have 5 Mile Prairie. I was just up there today showing, I showed a $2.25 million house right here. I showed and a few other $1 million houses along the route heading into like the St. George's area. So you can definitely find, what's really cool is like the 2.25 was probably a 5,000 square foot house on 10 plus acres in that area. But there was some really beautiful custom construction in the 5 Mile area. But you don't have to be a millionaire, obviously, or to live in that area as well, because like Haydn Homes is building new construction right here next to the Sky Prairie Park. So if you want like a $450,000 new construction home right next to Sky Prairie Park, you could do that as well. But then I also have clients that live over here that built a custom $900,000 house. So there's kind of a good range of options on the 5 Mile Prairie, and just a good range of prices from the mid fours up to over $1 million plus in that area. I really like the Indian Trail neighborhood, which comes right off the hill from 5 Mile. There's Barnes Road here, but there's another little bluff here, and this is kind of the north Indian Trail area. There's an area called Weber Drive, and if we zoom in a little bit, Weber is pretty high end. There was another $1 million home that we checked out on this drive here, but the sunset views, like this house was really nicely constructed, everything, and kind of a huge lot. But the thing that sold it is that you can see for miles and miles and miles over the western sunrise, or to see the western sunset. But the cool thing is you don't have to pay $1 million to get that view either, because Lennar is building up on this ridge here. And so for about $650,000, you could actually have a house that's actually even higher up, and be able to see that sunset view as well. So Lennar has this whole community going in here. I believe in the future they're going to even be building back in this way even a little bit further, but don't hold me to that one. So that's the North Indian Trail. But there's a lot of homes in this area built between like the mid 1970s all the way up to today of custom new construction. What I do like about North Indian Trail is that it's kind of just one way in, one way out. You just have one road here that exits out the back and then goes into the nature preserve area. And so again, it's just kind of this tight-knit, close-in community, not a lot of traffic coming through unless you live in that area. And so I just think it can be a great option. There's a few different quality parks in the area, the library in there. And so it is kind of its own little town center outside of the city of Spokane, like the downtown core itself. So we touched on kind of the northwest, very northwest area, Indian Trail, 5 Mile. So when you come down into Northwest Spokane, we actually start to get into a little bit more of the historic areas of Spokane. So even around Audubon Park and the Downriver neighborhood, you're going to find homes that are much older, built in the 50s and even earlier. As you get down into West Central, you're going to be looking at homes. I have a client under contract down here on an 1894 home. So a home that has been there since the beginning. And so you have some really crazy, beautiful historical homes in this neighborhood as well. The Garlic District is a very hip area. It's a few blocks of different vintage stores, restaurants, record stores, things like that. And so it's a great walkable neighborhood. Affordability is much more common around here. Average home price is being more in like the 350 range. And then if you're really looking for affordability, the most affordable neighborhoods in Spokane are in the northeastern quadrant. Average home prices in some little quadrants here being less than 300,000 at this point. If you are going to Gonzaga University or you wanted a Gonzaga rental, you would want to stick to this kind of southern portion of the Logan neighborhood, Gonzaga University being right here. And really we find that if you don't want to go past about Ermina, I think Ermina is this one right here. This is kind of really the sweet spot for Gonzaga rentals. If you go any further north than that, it just becomes a little bit too far for the Gonzaga students to commute. And then the great thing is that we also have a university district right across the river from Gonzaga. And so basically there's a whole other section here where now we have multiple campuses from University of Washington and Washington State University. So this is a good area to keep an eye out if you were looking for like a rental property, because you're always going to have a base of student rentals in that area. Let's see, South Hill in Spokane. So South Hill kind of just has that charm and that name that many people know. And so you have a few different sections of it, of the South Hill. So you have Cliff Cannon, Manitou, Lincoln Heights, Comstock, and then kind of this Moran Prairie area up here. And so Cliff Cannon, there's a variety of homes in this area where I've had some clients purchase homes in the 450 range when you're kind of off of Cedar and over in this area. I have some clients that live in a condo right here. Huckleberry's Natural Market, kind of one of the best natural grocery stores in the Spokane area. But then you also have some of the most luxurious homes in all of Spokane along Cliff Drive. And so if you were to drive along Cliff Drive here, you have a great northern view of Spokane. This is kind of like if you're being a tourist in Spokane, you should drive through here because there are just some massive old school mansions on this block that are absolutely gorgeous. And it extends over into Rockwood Boulevard, also being one of the more wealthy and just high value streets in Spokane, where your average home price is going to be well above $900,000 to $1 million to live in that area. And so if you're looking for more high end on the South Hill, Rockwood is kind of the area for that, or Cliff Drive. And then there's a few little hidden pockets around Manitou Boulevard, specifically roads like 21st, because it connects to, I'm trying to see where is 21st? It's right in here. 21st is, connects Manitou Park to kind of the Cannon Hill Park, and there's some really beautiful properties in there. And then if you were in like that kind of mid-5 range to mid-6 range, you can find really charming 3-bed, 2-bath, kind of craftsman bungalow style homes in this area. You're near the Scoop Ice Cream, highly rated Hutton Elementary, things like that. And then I should also mention that if you are looking for exclusive, inexpensive homes, anything along High Drive, and then continuing into the Manitou Country Club is going to be some of your most exclusive real estate in Spokane. If you really want to get into the high-end exclusive areas of Spokane, Manitou Country Club is the place for you. This is like if you have to ask about what the membership price is and you probably can't afford it, that's kind of what I say. And this is just it's a very high end community at the Manitou Country Club there. So I mean, what I really love about the South Hill itself is that you're once you're up on the South Hill, you don't have to leave the South Hill. I remember as a kid growing up here, I could bike very easily from my home up in this neighborhood and bike all the way down to Comstock, Manitou, and Cliff Cannon Park, and then bike all the way back. That's kind of like what I would do all the time. And so it's very much just like easy area to walk and bike and get around if you like that type of lifestyle. So Moran Prairie into Tower Mountain, and then I'm going to even include Eagle Ridge. Has a variety of homes that are going to be, I mean, in some areas of Moran Prairie, the average home price is going to be like 450 to 500,000. But again, if you're looking for like a high-end home, there are some beautiful custom homes on Tower Mountain, back here on Medelia in behind 57th, and then scattered throughout Eagle Ridge. Eagle Ridge, you're probably not going to find a home for less than 550,000 anymore. It's such a desirable community with 5 miles of trailheads throughout, parks throughout it, and just really it is just kind of a quiet community back here off of 195. I think people that aren't from here don't really see it. It feels like it's off the beaten path, but it's really only like 10 minutes to downtown Spokane. So if you are a doctor or something like that, working at Sacred Heart or Deaconess, anything like that, it's really a very simple commute. It looks far, but it's really like less than 10 minutes to get from Eagle Ridge into downtown Spokane. So lots of more modern homes, modern, even not even like contemporary. There's a few contemporary ones, but just built early to mid 2000s in that area. Mead, we've been talking about it. It's growing, it's expanding. Mead Works is going to be here within the next couple of years. I heard that first people will be moving in summer of 2025. If you're looking for more rural in Spokane, there are lots of options north in Deer Park area, Chattaroy, Elk, things like that. Land has just become more expensive. You're hard pressed to find. I have a lot of people want to find a small home on big land, and that's just kind of a rare thing. And if that's the case, it's going to be hard to find anything under 450 at this point on like 10 acres. That would be pretty rare, and the house is probably going to need a lot of work. Spokane Valley, I think Spokane Valley is split into kind of 3 districts as well, kind of based on the school district. So you have Central Valley School District, and I should redraw that because Central Valley School District goes over to like Liberty Lake as well. And so you have 2 high schools. We have Central Valley High School roughly in this area, and you have Riverside High School in this area. And so kind of Riverside is brand new, is only a couple years old, and so it kind of took a lot of the people from Liberty Lake and the east side of the South Valley, and now Central Valley really just kind of does get the Central Valley area to that school. And then you have the West Valley School District, which is really small. It's just kind of the Millwood, Northwood area, and then you have East Valley High School, which takes up the remainder of Otis Orchards and things like that in this area. And so I think if you are looking for, again, more kind of rural options, but in the city, Otis Orchards is kind of like, it kind of feels a little North Idaho because it's like right there on the edge and it has a road that goes straight into it. So a little bit more industrial. You could kind of run a business out of your home kind of area. I think the most expensive home almost ever listed in Spokane is over in this area. That's like $8 million, I think, or just north of Trent actually. But it's so massive horse farm kind of thing in that area. Millwood, cute little pocket. Northwood is just north of Millwood, and it's kind of this community built into the hillside here. Again, you can find a mix of homes from like 550 to over $1 million, but it's hard to, you really have to zoom in on the map, but it's really weaved into the mountain here, and there's a fairly large community back in this area. The nice thing is when you're down low, I was considering buying a house in this area here. It's cool because you're just close to Upriver Drive, Boulder Beach, and the Centennial Trail works its way through here as well. So it's just, along Upriver Drive. And so this can just be it's just kind of a cool little pocket if you want a place close to the Centennial Trail, if you're a biker or anything like that. So if you're not super into the really old homes in the city of Spokane Valley can be a little bit better for you. I do say it is a little bit more suburban in the Spokane Valley. It was built up later, built up a little bit faster, but the homes tend to be newer, a handful of new construction projects in the area. And then but it was built up a lot in like the 70s, 80s, 90s. And so you are a little bit commercial with Sprague running through here. Lots of commercial businesses along here, and it's really pretty just residential throughout this area. They've got a couple cool features in the South Valley. TT's Barbecue is down there, Craft and Gather is down there. But this is just going to be kind of just very much residential neighborhood. There's a few pockets of some like higher end neighborhoods down south, and a couple of those streets where you could find some like more expensive homes would be like along 32nd here or Bella Terra especially as well. I know that there's a new construction project in this area where you can completely custom design your home inside of a gated community there. As you head east, you're in the Green Acres area, which is just a small incorporation in right outside of the Spokane Valley. It's all one and the same a little bit, but they just kind of have like their own water district and stuff like that. I actually really like the Green Acres area. I'm not super big on like planned development communities, new communities. I like my older houses, but this is actually, Green Acres is actually pretty, I think it's pretty nice. There was a moment where while I was shopping for a home that I wanted to kind of live there. And so the main road in and out is Barker here. You come down here and then it just kind of offshoots into a handful of neighborhoods in this area. But overall, it's really peaceful. There's some nice hiking over here in the Saltese uplands close by. And it's just, I don't know. There's nothing like, there's just nice houses, nice quality houses out there. That's all I can really say. It's like, there's nothing good or like nothing that's like stands out like a lot, but all the houses along Chapman are just really solid houses, and the Selkirk Estates neighborhood is really nice as well. All right, and then we got Liberty Lake. So Liberty Lake is the place where it has 3 golf courses that make up like the majority of the city there. You can ride your golf cart around. There's a few great options. Obviously, some of the most expensive homes in Spokane are along Legacy Ridge up in this area here, looking out over Liberty Lake. And then you have other opportunities, like I have some clients that live off of Country Vista in the condo communities here. And then there's there's a little bit of an older neighborhood through here. I mean, 80s mostly. And then Lennar, we've talked about in the past, has their new community going in up here. And Greenstone, this is the Rocky Hill neighborhood. Greenstone built this neighborhood a little while back. And so it's a few pockets of like planned unit developments over time. If you want to live on the lake, you'll have to really cough up the money because it is going to be a premium. A fixer-upper property would go for $1 million there. And the land is limited because you can't live on all sides of the lake. And so really exclusive, like any of these gated communities that are down in this area here, just you can't even get access to, and I've never seen any of them come for sale in my time as an agent. So it's very exclusive, but if you were looking for that kind of once in a lifetime property, Liberty Lake would be that area for you. Couple more areas to hit. Newman Lake, kind of slept on. If you're okay with kind of being out in the middle of, not totally in the middle of nowhere, but like you're going to be a 25-minute drive from anything. Newman Lake's a solid lake to live on. You can be out there for relatively affordable. Properties up on Loon Lake can definitely get expensive, average home price being much higher, but there is a Shore Acres Resort, a manufactured home park out there that knows how to party. I know like 7 people that have a manufactured home out here just as their lakefront getaway. It's like $60,000, $80,000. Buy the place for cash, and they have their lakefront property. Community beach is really well taken care of, and that's kind of like their home away from home right there during the summertime. So it's kind of a cool little pocket as well if you're not super concerned about having a huge lakefront property or anything like that. So all right, so I'm going to run out of space here on my camera. So I tried to touch as much as I could. If you have any questions, any specific areas that I didn't hit that you'd like me to deep dive into, make sure you leave a comment down below. I'd love to answer your questions down in the comments and go more in depth, but I just want to kind of give you a good lay of the land here in Spokane and what that looks like. So if this was at all helpful and you're thinking about making a move to Spokane, I'd love to go through this map with you based on specifically what you're looking for. So you can use the link down below in the description to schedule a meeting on my calendar at a time that's convenient for you, or use the info on the screen to call, text me anytime. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell because I'm releasing videos every single week on moving to Spokane to hopefully make the process easier for you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.